I have no memory of the process of dying or leaving my body. I was moving headfirst through a dark maelstrom of what looked like black boiling clouds, feeling that I was being beckoned to the sides, which frightened me. Ahead was a tiny dot of bright light that steadily grew and brightened as I drew nearer. I became aware that I must be dead and was concerned for Mum and Dad and my sister, and somewhat upset with myself as I thought they will soon get over it, like it was in passing just a fleeting thought as I rushed greedily forward towards this light. I arrived in an explosion of glorious light into a room with insubstantial walls, standing before a man about in his 30s, about 6 foot tall, reddish-brown shoulder-length hair and an incredibly neat, short beard and mustache. He wore a simple white robe. The light seemed to emanate from him, and I felt he had great age and wisdom. He welcomed me with great love, tranquility, peace, indescribable, no words. I felt I can sit at your feet forever and be content, which struck me as a strange thing to think, say, feel. I became fascinated by the fabric of his robe, trying to figure out how light could be woven. He stood beside me and directed me to look to my left, where I was replaying my life's less complimentary moments. I relived those moments and felt not only what I had done, but also the hurt I had caused. Some of the things I would have never imagined could have caused pain. I was surprised that some things I may have worried about, like shoplifting chocolate as a child, were not there, whilst casual remarks which caused hurt unknown to me at the time were counted. When I became burdened with the guilt, I was directed to other events which gave joy to others. Though I felt unworthy, it seemed the balance was in my favor. I received great love. I was led further into the room, which became a hall, and there coming towards me was my grandfather. He looked younger than I remembered, and was without his hair lip or cleft palates, but was undoubtedly my grandfather. We hugged, he spoke to me and welcomed me. I was moved to forgive him for dying when I was 14, and making me break my promise to become a doctor and find a cure for his heart condition. Until that moment I had not realized I had been angry at him. Granddad told me that Grandma was coming soon, and he was looking forward to her arrival. I inquired why she was coming soon, as she had been traveling from her home in Manchester to New Zealand to Miami for continual summer for a number of years. Granddad told me she had cancer of the bowel and was coming soon. Granddad seemed to have no grasp of time when I pressed for how soon. Grandma was diagnosed 3 months later and died in August. I had upset my mother by telling her about it when I regained consciousness. After Granddad and I had talked a while, he took me further into the room, which became a hall again, and we approached a group of people whom I started to recognize. The person who first welcomed me came and placed his hand on my shoulder and turned me towards him. He said, "You must return, you have a task to perform." I wanted to argue, I wanted to stay. I glanced back at Granddad and was propelled quickly towards the entrance. At the threshold where all became blackness, nothing, no awareness. After I awoke from my coma slowly over several days, remembering half-dreamed memories of familiar voices and glimpses of faces. The clearest moments were several occasions where I would awake from deep sleep to find a nurse with a syringe, and I refused any drugs. I have no idea why. I had 3 lots of surgery to repair my face, skull, eye socket. Left hospital with pain, double vision, anosmia, and damage to the 8th cranial nerve, which left me with nausea and disturbed balance. I was for 2 years angry at Granddad for sending me back in such torment, with a task to do without clues or instructions. Only one thing, a clear message I have no idea how to pass on, which is it is time to live according to your beliefs, whatever they may be, to put your house in order, for the end times are upon us. This can't be my task. There was no booming voice or any way I know the message got there. I am also unsure of the identity of the gatekeeper. No name tag, no introduction. It took me 5 years as a zombie before I was able to rehabilitate myself. I have gainful employment, formed the Head Injury Society New Zealand in 1987, and am being paraded as an example of how well it is possible to recover from acquired brain damage. I still don't know my task, still have pain, anosmia, diplopia.